Wasteland Weaponistics Episode 33. Like a brick through a plate glass window, it's the Walther PPK. The PPK has only appeared in Fallout 4. Now, for a little real-world history of the Walther Police Pistol. It's a semi-automatic German pistol dating from the 1930s. Its simple nature and high-quality manufacturing has gotten it adopted by militaries and law enforcement all around the world, as well as being heavily used by civilians. The Walther PPK is a very simple gun, as it is just a straight blowback design. Blowback is the simplest way to get an auto-loading firearm, as there is no locking system in a blowback. The pistol relies on the mass of the slide and the strength of the spring in order to work. While blowbacks are simple, they work great for low-power pistol rounds like 32 ACP and 380. When you want to chamber a pistol in a larger round, like 45 ACP or 10mm, usually a type of locking system is needed, or a type of delaying system. Because of the Walther's simplicity, there have been many copies, both licensed and unlicensed, all around the world. Some of these copies include the Soviet Makarov, the Hungarian Feg PA-63, and the Argentinian Bursa 380 Thunder. In Fallout 4's base game, there is a single Walther PPK. It is known as the Deliverer. How do we know this pistol is a Walther and not some made-up Fallout-verse company? Well, it has the exact same grips as a real-world Walther PPK, just without the Walther logo. And the Walther company has appeared by name in a previous Fallout game. In Fallout Tactics, you can get the Walther MPL. It is directly mentioned by name. If you don't know what the MPL is, it is a Cold War-era submachine gun that never reached the prevalence of other Cold War-era submachine guns like the Uzi or the MP5. And both Walther and the Walther PPK existed long before the Fallout series Divergence. If you don't know what the Divergence is when the Fallout timeline split with our own timeline to become different. It's supposed to be after World War II, however, some have speculated this happens in about the 1960s around, maybe 1961, 62, somewhere in there. Now, the real elephant in the room we have to address with this pistol is that it fires 10mm. 10mm is a very powerful round, and a very large one at that. There is no way a 10mm would fit in a Walther PPK. The 10mm round would still be too large for a round for the Super PP. A larger, heavier version of the PPK that existed in the 1980s. Now, I wonder if the Deliverer is meant to be a 40 Smith & Wesson version of the PPK. If you don't know the history of the 40 Smith & Wesson round, it is basically a shorter version of 10mm. You see, 10mm was adopted by the FBI after some disastrous failures. However, shortly after adopting the 10mm Smith & Wesson 1076 pistol, they found that the recoil of the 10mm round was too much for its female officers to handle. So, they ended up not loading their 10mm ammo as hot. Then, Smith & Wesson came out with the 40 Smith & Wesson round, because what is the point of carrying a large 10mm pistol if you're just going to underload it to make it weaker? You might as well have a smaller round with the same power. And that's how the 40 Smith & Wesson was really born, by FBI agents not being able to handle 10mm. Now, would 40 Smith & Wesson work in a PPK? Maybe. There are companies that have made 40 Smith & Wesson blowback pistols. Bursa, who I mentioned earlier in the video, once made a 40 Smith & Wesson blowback pistol, known as the Bursa Thunder 40. And there is also the infamous High Point pistol that also has a 40 Smith & Wesson version. So maybe the 10mm round in the Deliverer is a 40 Smith & Wesson, or just a shorter version of 10mm. Or maybe it's just Bethesda's tomfoolery, and it just kind of works. In Fallout 4, there is a single Walther PPK. That is the Deliverer, like I mentioned. This is a unique pistol. Not only because it is the only pistol of its kind, but also because it has the VATS Enhanced legendary perk. For how you get the Deliverer? Well, you acquire it from the worst faction in Fallout history, the Railroad. During the quest Tradecraft, it can be found on the body of Tommy Whispers, a dead Railroad agent. Deacon recommends that you should have his pistol. During the conversation, he has a very strange comment about the pistol, at least to me.
Protecting our secrets. Let me see. There. Tommy would want you to have his hand cannon. Don't let its size fool you.
What's so special about the gun?
Tinker Tom restored it. You'll meet him later. It's cutting-edge old-world tech. It's powerful and, more importantly, quiet. You'll never find another weapon like it.
He calls it cutting-edge old-world tech. I don't think a 1930s blowback pistol is cutting-edge old-world tech when we have things like plasma weapons. And by the time of the Great War, the PPK would be over 140 years old, or somewhere around 140. He also says that you'll never find another weapon like it. He would be sort of correct, as it is the only one in the base game. But the Fallout 4 Creation Club makes his statement false, as it adds another Walther PPK to the game. I have to ask, why is there so few Walther PPKs in the game? Whenever they are used in in-game advertisement, you can see on this silencer poster that they are using a Walther PPK as advertisement. But yes, the other Walther PPK that is added to the game is the Silver Sidearm. This one's kind of funny because it is an unique weapon. It's a non-legendary variant of the base game Deliverer. It has a unique skin, but no legendary effect. So does that make the Silver Sidearm the base gun and the Deliverer is the unique, or is the Deliverer the base gun and the Silver Sidearm is the unique? The world may never know. Now, you get the Silver Sidearm as part of the Shroud Manor creation. There is no lore I can find for the Silver Sidearm, other than that the Shroud Manor is owned by a former Mafia boss who would sell fake Silver Shroud memorabilia. So the pistol could be some kind of fake made by the Mafia. In this mansion, you also get the Silver Shroud outfit, which is an alternate version of the base game Silver Shroud outfit. This version has a red scarf instead of a gray one, making it more similar to the real-life fictional hero, the Shadow. The Shadow is what the Silver Shroud is based on. Speaking of the Shadow, did you know Alec Baldwin portrayed him in the 1994 film The Shadow? Thought I would keep things topical with recent unfortunate events. But in that film, he didn't use a Walther PPK, instead having two heavily modified Lar Grizzlies, making them look like giant government model 1911s. That's about it for all the lore on the Walther PPK in the Fallout universe. It's a simple blowback pistol that just kind of works. Now, that would usually be the end of the video, but I want to ask you guys and gals a question. Why do you think this pistol is not in Fallout 76? Fallout 76 has nearly every other weapon from Fallout 4. Even ones it really shouldn't, like the harpoon gun, radium rifle, and the cryolator. Yet the PPK is missing. The only thing I can think to say is maybe Bethesda didn't think to add it since the 10mm pistol already exists, and they didn't want an overlapping pistol. But then why have both the standard 44 mag and the Western revolver in the game? They're both the same gun, it's just one does more damage. Who really knows what Bethesda was thinking? They've added items into Fallout 76 that do the exact same as other items they've added, so I don't see the problem. I mean, some examples of this are Red Ant Logger and the Carry Weight Booster. You also have Thorn Armor and Covert Scout Armor, which are both unique sets of the base Scout Armor that both boost your stealth, yet one is worse than the other, and yet the worse one is also harder to acquire. So who knows what Bethesda thinks? Who knows why they do what they do? The world may never know. Anyway, see everyone next time. And remember to subscribe to this channel, as well as my main channel, Trooper Fofo, for more gaming content. Right now on the Trooper Fofo channel, I'm doing a full walkthrough of the entire Brotherhood DLC for Fallout 76. That is both Steel Dawn and Steel Rain as one long campaign. Alright, see everybody next time. Bye.